Hey, this is Leo. If you find the content valuable, you know what to do. So, AMC Entertainment, they've managed to negotiate the payoff of some debt. They've managed to pay 72.5 million of its second lien debt. They managed to negotiate to where they only had to pay 50 million in order to pay off 72 million worth of debt. So, obviously that's a good thing. It's I think it's a step in the right direction. Obviously, paying off high interest debt is always good, especially in now it would depend whether it was variable rate or not. And all that means is it's like a credit card, for example, that's variable rate. The interest rate isn't fixed, whereas your mortgage is most likely a fixed rate loan. So it's good to pay off high interest debt because that's going to have the biggest impact on you. So it just puts the company in a better place. My understanding is that the company still has about $5 billion of debt that Adam Aaron is looking to restructure. So the company's on the right path, and it's not going to happen overnight as far as the company's fundamentals drastically improving, but it's just one step on the path. It's a marathon, it's not a sprint type of thing. But the market is responding very well to it. So we come over here and look at the chart. You'll notice obviously AMC has been on a real rip the last few days, moving up here, pushing $18 currently. Now, what I do want to point out is this would be the point that I get excited, right? So if you look all the way back to the previous little run-up that we had around $77, it's been working down within this channel for months now, right? So the next resistance point that we're going to run into is around $20. $20 being psychological resistance. You also have the 200 daily EMA there. You have the downtrend line. You have over on the volume profile, you'll notice that volume drops off. So there's a lack of price acceptance here. So what does that mean? Well, what I want to see is I want to see it break through this. If we break through the downtrend line, get past the EMA, and we get into this area of lack of price acceptance. We talked about before what happens whenever you're in an area of lack of price acceptance. It moves very quickly until it finds another area where it's accepted at. So if I just mark here, you can see how it's actually just below it. Right, okay, so right there, right below the 200 EMA is where that volume kind of drops off. Now, we're just going to have to keep an eye on it because what I don't want to see happen is I don't want to see it come up here and we get a real big bearish bar and then it start to reverse down. It's not dramatically bad. It's just not what I would like to see. I want to see it push through this. I want to see us continue this momentum up and get outside of this downtrending channel. So let's go ahead and take this off. We'll take a look at the Bollinger Bands here and see kind of what they're doing. Okay, so we're on the daily chart, right? Bollinger Bands have begun expanding, right? Which I mean, it makes sense because we've been in this period of consolidation, making these higher lows, higher low as prices inching up higher, and that lack of volatility would imply that you see an increase in volatility. And so now the Bollinger Bands are beginning to expand. The candles have absolutely closed outside of your first deviation of the Bollinger Bands. So what could be coming? Well, thinking back to the channel that we just talked about, if we run into that channel and we reverse, we would be looking at something like this, where we just get stopped and we lose momentum. If we come over here, we can see how previously the last two big run-ups, the Bollinger Bands squeezed in, we got the break outside of them, and then shortly thereafter, we saw a massive run-up. Break outside the Bollinger Bands after a period of contraction, we saw the massive run-up. So obviously, we're hoping for the larger run-up to start here. So just have to keep our eye on it and see what happens. But ultimately, it's looking good in my opinion. We have a lot of catalysts going on as far as the unknown, I suppose, with the whole Adam Aaron Pounce thing, whether Netflix is going to end up buying it or some other platform could potentially buy it. Those are the rumors. If that's what's going to happen here, because you often find that price moves first, and then it's almost as if they write the news to fit the price action. I don't know if y'all have noticed that, but certainly over my career of trading, because before I got into the whole AMC thing so I can kind of review documents to talk to y'all about. For the most part, I only look at price. And what I have found is that price will go somewhere and then a news article comes out and they talk about it. So it's almost as if price is a leading indicator as to what the news is going to be, if that makes sense. So if there's going to be some large announcement around the beginning of August right here, and we're seeing the expansion within the Bollinger Bands, it makes sense that we could be seeing a large breakout starting in advance of the news, if that makes sense. So hopefully that's what comes of it. We're just going to have to wait and see. I believe it's another week or two before we get there to Adam Aron's pounce announcement. Hopefully it's not a nothing burger like what happened with the NFTs. I was hoping that he would put out an NFT dividend, which, similar to Overstock, would end up forcing the shorts to cover, but we all know what happened there, where they stuck out those stickers that didn't really do anything. Anyway, so until next time, if you have any questions, drop in the comment section down below, and I'll talk to y'all soon.